Hello, my friends. Wes Gal here. Welcome back to the Cardinal Coaching Solutions podcast. Man, that sounded like I had marbles in my throat or something. Let's try that again. The Cardinal Coaching Solutions podcast. Glad you're here. Hope you are enjoying this transition from spring into summer. At least that's what's happening here in the Northern Hemisphere and here in the Mid-Atlantic. Summer is breathing down our necks. It is, spring has officially pretty much come and gone. Yesterday it was 90 degrees, and it's way too early for that nonsense. Nobody needs that. Maybe we could sneak in a few more 70s here. But anyway, hey, I think I failed to mention this in the previous episode, so I want to be sure to do that here right at the top. Of course, the 2021 Self-Care Summit hosted by Liz Garrett. I'll put a link in the show notes as usual. It is an amazing resource. Come on, let's be honest. God knows we are all in need of some level of self-care these days. And so it's an amazing resource. I mention it pretty much every episode, but just check it out. See what is available there. It's an amazing library of sessions and teachers and practitioners and recipes and anything that has to do with the topic of self-care. A really wonderful and very, very generous offering there. So check it out. Okay, I want to dive right in this morning and actually feature some of the, well, let me point over this shoulder if you're watching on the video. I had this thought the other day. I want to feature some of the, you see the autobiographies behind me, or the books behind me, specifically of the artists. There's one of Tom Petty, there's Bruce Springsteen, there's a couple of Bruce Springsteen, and there used to be one, let me see. Oh yeah, we got a lot up here. Wilco, Paul McCartney, Jeff Tweedy, Bob Dylan, Ryan Adams. Music's a big part of my life. It really is. And I had this thought earlier this month. I don't know what brought it on. I really don't. I was trying to remember where it came from, the origins of it. I don't know what it was, but anytime I watch a documentary, especially one usually featuring like a recording artist or an author, or I got really into the show on Netflix about chefs. And when I see stories like that, I'm jealous and amazed at how this individual has basically gone full tilt into this pursuit. Nothing else matters, and in some cases, usually to their detriment, no one else matters, but there is this singular focus. Nothing else matters, and it's almost as though they burn the ships behind them. Usually throughout their story, there's burnt bridges relationally, but there's this singular pursuit. I'm not doing anything else. I am going to find a way to make this work. This is my place in life. This is my role. And I've just been, like I said, I'm often intrigued when I come across it. And I think this month, what I noticed for the first time, maybe, was a bit of jealousy that there is that singular focus. That's not me right now. That hasn't been my story thus far. And I think I realized that that's not me right now. I have a lot of different things going on. I mean, I've got, of course, my coaching practice. I've got, and even in that practice, there's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of content creation. I love doing things like this. Of course, coaching within that. And then I've got other kind of creative endeavors. I mentioned music. I write and perform music. I've mentioned writing in general before. I've self-published a novel. And I don't say any of that in an arrogant fashion. I'm just acknowledging, like, I have a lot of, even now I'm actually preparing for another certification in project management. So I found myself wondering a couple weeks ago, like, am I spread too thin, or will I regret at some point in my life not choosing one of these perhaps, or narrowing the focus and going, this is all I'm going after. And two things came to mind when I did that. The first was the thought of doing that task that I just described right there, narrowing the focus, choosing a few or maybe even one and going, this is all I'm after. That just doesn't land with me. It doesn't resonate. It's not the desire of my soul to limit or pull back from any of these other endeavors that I've mentioned. And then the second thing that came to mind was this deeper question, which is kind of the title of today. What's it all for? What is it for? And I found myself really digging deep and asking, okay, if I don't have this singular pursuit that's overt and explicit, I do only this, then what is it for me that I am going after that is of utmost importance? So take music, for example. I'm at a point in my life and my family where even when it comes to going out and performing music, I'm extremely selective. Now, that's not to say that I have venues barking down my door. Not by any means. I am very selective with the venues that I'll go and solicit and reach out to, because I'm careful of the time slots that they book. I'm careful of, I'm looking at the environment and going, look, do I want to play that venue in August that doesn't have air conditioning? I'm just at a place where that's what I'm doing. Now, the reason I say that is because what surfaced for me in that question, what is it all for? What I begin to realize is that I do have a singular focus. At this time in my life, I do have a singular focus. And for me, I'm just being transparent here. For me, that's my family. That's my singular focus. That any other endeavor that I may get into, that I may pursue, whether it be creative, whether it be coaching, the times that I make myself available for any and all of those things, it's looked at through the lens of what kind of experience do I want my kids growing up with? What kind of availability do I want to have? So long as I'm able to make decisions like that. That was encouraging to me to realize, wait, I do have that. I do have a singular focus, and it is this. It's not as clear cut, and it's not as overt as, some of the rock and roll singer-songwriter artists that I have a level of admiration for, but it is there. And it just got me thinking, what is that for you? What is that, whether it's a high level, whether it's a granular focus, whatever it may be, it can be worth exploring variations of a question like this. What is it all for? What is it all for? And like I mentioned, there are some variations. What is this in service of? Who is it for? We can explore any kind of different mix and match and variation of that. But it can be really helpful to get down and get centered and discovered. Maybe it's a new endeavor that you're thinking of doing. Maybe it's one that you've been doing and maybe lost some focus on, lost some energy around. I really do think that can be helpful to explore. And if that's something you're up for, you know what to do. If you're a listener, shoot me an email, Wes, W-E-S, at cardinalcoachingsolutions.com. That's my sweet spot. I love exploring those kinds of things. So hopefully that's helpful for you. This is our June newsletter. And full disclosure, guys, we've got the summer coming up. We've got things are opening. Masks are coming off. Vaccines are out. Thank God. Fantastic, good news. Wherever you are on whatever side of the aisle, it doesn't really matter. Hopefully we can celebrate some sense of return. So I say all that to say that we've got some travel coming up this summer. I'm not sure how consistent I'll be with was showing up in this medium like this over the course of the summer. But I'll say what I always say here. I promise you that we will do this again soon. Stay well and stay safe.